Okay guys, this is going to be the second of my videos for the just the basics on how to run and use Arma2 in the 21CW mod. Now, what I want to take a second is go to the map, and I'm going to scroll out. Now, here is where we are right now. This is our main base. You'll notice that there's a diagonal, in a circle around it, there's diagonal blue slashes. And over here you'll see this is our forward operating base, or FOB, F-O-B, whichever one you want to use. You'll also notice that it has the diagonal slashes. And if we go north here, we see that there's the 79 MRD's FOB, and then over here in the far northeast, there's their main base, their aircraft carrier. Now what those slashes are safe zones. In a safe zone, you can either shoot out or be shot into. It's to protect people from just sitting there and spawn camping. To show you, for example, I'm going to fire off my gun. Now you'll see it's just like I'm ricocheting hitting the dirt. Well, that lets you know you're still in the safe zone, and you can't fire in or out of it. Now, this is where everybody spawns at the main base, but let's say we don't want to be at the main base. We need to be at the forward operating base and on the ground. Well, in every main base, you'll see a little map like this somewhere. And what you'll do is you'll go up to it, and you'll use your mouse scroll wheel. Now, you've got three options, and the bottom's my weapon. One is game time. Usually it'll let you know what the time is in the server in the round. It says waiting for more players because it's only me on my LAN, so that doesn't help me right now. And then the other two options are to spawn to the west FOB. I'm on the west team. Or to spawn to the ORP. The ORP isn't deployed right now, so we can't do it. So I'm just going to go straight to the FOB. And voila, it took us to the FOB. And since our main base was in the ocean, this is where all our land vehicles are. You see, we've got some Humvees, a couple of Bradleys, a Lav, and some Abrams tanks here. Now, when it comes to vehicles, there's several ways to get in. You don't just go in and push it. You got to come in from different positions. For example, to get in here at the side, you can scroll, same scroll options. You can get in as the driver or the loader. I'm going to get in the driver at this point, and this is my view as the driver. But because in the Abrams, the driver position is separate from the others, you can't jump into another position from here. So what we'll have to do, let's say if I wanted to be the gunner, is you get out, like I just did, go to the side of the tank, and you'll choose something like gun, get in as loader. Now I'm inside the turret, and once within the turret, I can jump into the different seats. Here's the gunner seat, or up into the commander seat, and do the different things. The one other thing to note about most armored vehicles is in several positions you can do what's called a turnout, which is like so, and you turn out of the position. And it's less secure, but you have a better field of view. So now I'm going to get out, and we're going to go over and we're going to look at some of these stationary weapons back here in the back. Every FOB and even main base should have different weapons like these stationed. Now these don't really help us right here, but the beauty is we can get in and out of them here, but we can also maneuver them. So first I'll show you how to move it from one point to another. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up this gun, and now you see it's floating kind of like in front of me off the ground, and as I move, it moves with me. Now these items tend to be heavy, so if you try to run with it, you'll fall on the ground like that, and you'll see a message down at the bottom. It's only to you, telling you that I was walking too fast and how to slow down. In this instance, it's the shift key because it's my default bind for walking. And so I can walk it anywhere, and let's say I wanted to post it up between these two Humvees. So this is where I want to be. And so what we'll do is you say release the object, and then voila, it's deployed. And then we just go up to it, and we can get into it. Now we're still inside a safe zone, so it's not going to shoot anything anywhere. But I wanted to take a second to note that while on your personal arms, right click will usually take you into the iron sight view, but as you notice on this one, whenever I right click, it just zooms me in. I'm not looking down the iron sights. Well, if you wanted to look into the optics or the iron sights for the weapon, the default key that takes you straight to the optics mode is 0 on your numpad. You hit that, and voila, now we're going to get out. Other way we can maneuver this stuff is we can grab it. We're going to use this one as an example. And you use your scroll menu, you go to load in, and you'll see the message in the bottom left, I'm sorry, telling me that to pick which vehicle I want to load it in. So, for example, in this instance, I want to put it on this little quad here. So I click on the quad, and I scroll to load into the vehicle, as I just did, and you get the couple messages down in the bottom telling you that loading was in progress, and then that it was loaded in. So now you can go up to this vehicle, and we can look at the vehicle contents, and we see one M2 machine gun is in here, and it's taking up one of the loading spots. Now, different vehicles have different capacities. For example, this Humvee, you can load 18 units worth of stuff in. Now, this is important because here's our ORP, which is our deployable forward spawn base, and it's a pretty big thing. So let's say I want to load it up because it doesn't service any purpose here in this base. And let's say, but it's huge. You know, you see it's a big tent and whatnot. It can't be loaded on something small like the quad. It tells you in the bottom that there is no room, no space for this in that vehicle. So we're going to go over here to the Humvee, and now we're going to tell it to load into that vehicle. And now, once again, it's loading. You'll notice that as the timeout on the server ticked over and the round started, two messages appeared that were in blue text. That's text from the server to you, letting you know stuff. For example, in this instance, that Alpha and Bravo flag have been placed. Now, at the bottom of that text, you'll see that object tent has been loaded into the vehicle, and then there's another message that says ORP in transit. Those are messages from the server to each person, and it'll look like it's said from you, letting them know stuff. For example, in this one, that the ORP has been transferred. Now, I'm also going to load up this gun we put in here into that Humvee and keep it loading in, because I wanted to show you how to deploy and how the differences are for different items. Now, I'm going to come over here to the driver's side and choose to get into this vehicle as the driver. And voila. Now, when in vehicles, the steering's pretty much similar as most other first-person shooters. WAS and D do most of the stuff. You can also steer with your mouse. What you also can do is, if you hit the default keybind of the enter on the numpad, it'll give you an external view of the vehicle you're in. And that helps because of the restrictive view inside. Now, you can also free look, and I think the default keybind for that is left alt twice. So I'll hit left alt, and you can look, for example, out the windows. If there were other people in here, we could look around and see them. If there was a gunner standing there, you'd see his feet and the turret pivoting for him. But we don't have a gunner in this instance, so we're just going to keep going. And I'm going to check on my map, because I just wanted to make sure I'm outside the safe zone, which I am. See, as I'm no longer inside the white hashed area, and I'm going to get out of the vehicle. Jump out is just for emergencies. It's just bail out as fast as you can in case of an emergency. Now, I want to get the stuff out of this vehicle that I put in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is get out the tent. So you saw how I selected what was in there, and then you go to tent, and you click unload, and we get the message letting us know that the unloading has been done. We also get a message in this instance that the ORP was deployed, and voila, there it is. And this we can actually spawn into. So you can place it elsewhere on the map, all over the place, and it gives you a forward spawn point. However, the ORP can be destroyed. And I will now demonstrate this by giving it a round with my rocket launcher. That's the difference between the ORP and the forward operating base. The main base is you can spawn to it, but it's been destroyed. And it'll respawn now that it's been destroyed. It'll respawn back at the main base. The other thing I wanted to take us to do is we're going to grab out that machine gun. We're going to unload it. And the difference is the ORP deploys automatically. However, when you pull out something like the machine gun, the M2, you can deploy it wherever you'd like. Same as carrying it earlier. If you run, you're going to fall, so just hit shift and carry it. And now I'm going to release the object, and it's deployed. Now I'm going to get into the gun. You'll see as I turn back around, and I'm facing the where our safe area is, due my south. You'll see me as I that's the safe zone, so you can't be killed in. remember, you also can't shoot out of it. But you can rounds are going downrange and I'm aiming over the hill. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of this one. The last video I have is going to cover some of the different interactions and show them. And that'll be it for the basics. Thanks guys.